Just confirmed at Newcastle. The club is moving faster than ever behind the scenes, and the next few weeks could completely change everything at St. James Park. A huge signing might be on the horizon, one that could shock even the most loyal supporters. Meanwhile, another fan favorite faces an uncertain future, and a key player is pushing for a decision that could define his career. Things are moving quickly in Tyneside, and the mood is tense, exciting, and unpredictable all at once. As Eddie Howe continues his long-term rebuilding project, news has surfaced that could shape the club's path for years to come. 3 major updates are emerging, and each one will have Newcastle fans talking day and night. Stay tuned, because what's about to unfold could be massive for our beloved Magpies. Make sure you hit that subscribe button right now so you don't miss any of it. Marc-Andre ter Stegen has become one of the most talked about names in football once again. And this time, Newcastle United are right in the middle of the story. Reports from Spain have revealed that the German goalkeeper could make a stunning move to the Premier League this January. What began as quiet whispers has now turned into a serious rumor, with sources describing the transfer as a real possibility. For Newcastle, who continue to strengthen their squad under Eddie Howe, the idea of signing one of Europe's top goalkeepers is truly mouthwatering. Ter Stegen's reputation has been built over a decade at the very top. A key figure in Barcelona's success since joining from Borussia Mönchengladbach, his lifted league titles, domestic cups, and even the Champions League. But time has caught up with him. Now 33, he finds himself at a crossroads after undergoing surgery to fix a recurring back problem. The procedure went well, but it kept him out for months, giving his replacement Joan Garcia the chance to shine. That shift has left ter Stegen uncertain about his long-term role at the Camp Nou. For a player of his caliber, sitting on the bench simply isn't an option. He's too ambitious, too driven, and too proud to accept being second choice. With the next World Cup on the horizon, ter Stegen knows he needs to be playing week in, week out, to keep his place in Germany's squad. That's why a move to Newcastle could make perfect sense. Under Eddie Howe, the Magpies have transformed into one of the most organized and exciting sides in the Premier League. For an experienced goalkeeper, it's the ideal environment to rediscover his best form. According to Spanish outlet Fitches, Newcastle have made ter Stegen one of their primary targets for the upcoming January transfer window. The report claims the Magpies recruitment team have been tracking his recovery closely and believe he could be available for a fair price. Given Barcelona's financial pressures, selling a high-earning player like ter Stegen could free up much-needed funds. Newcastle, meanwhile, see him as the perfect blend of experience, technical skill, and leadership, a player who could immediately raise standards across the dressing room. Eddie Howe has built his project around calmness, unity, and professionalism, traits that define ter Stegen. Those who've worked with the German say he's a model professional, quiet but fiercely competitive. He demands excellence from those around him, and that mindset is exactly what Howe wants in his squad. Bringing in a Champions League winner would send a powerful message. Newcastle aren't just competing in the Premier League, they're aiming for trophies. It's the kind of bold move that separates big clubs from the rest. Of course, there are hurdles to clear. Ter Stegen's salary is significant, and Barcelona would want a respectable fee despite his age. But the goalkeeper's willingness to consider a move could make negotiations smoother. He's reportedly intrigued by the idea of testing himself in England, where the pace and intensity of the game suit his athletic style. He's also admired the passion of Newcastle supporters, who are among the most loyal and vocal in the country. The chance to play at St. James Park, in front of 50,000 roaring fans, is something few players can turn down. Inside Newcastle's offices, the discussions have already started. Howe and his backroom staff have reviewed scouting reports detailing ter Stegen's fitness, distribution accuracy, and command of the box. One of Howe's key requirements for a goalkeeper is the ability to start attacks from the back, something the German excels at. He's known for his quick decision-making and pinpoint passing, traits that would fit perfectly with Newcastle's attacking philosophy. The staff believe his presence could bring calmness to the defense and boost confidence throughout the squad. Fans, meanwhile, are buzzing at the thought of such a signing. Many still remember when Newcastle struggled to attract big names, And now the idea of bringing in one of the world's most decorated goalkeepers feels almost surreal. Social media has been flooded with excitement and speculation, with supporters dreaming of seeing him between the posts in black and white. It's not just about his saves, it's about what his arrival would represent. Ambition, belief, and progress. Newcastle are no longer a club looking up, they're a club aiming forward. In Spain, the feeling is that Ter Stegen's time at Barcelona may be nearing its natural end. With Garcia impressing and the club planning for the future, both sides could benefit from parting ways amicably. The goalkeeper remains deeply respected in Catalonia, but even legends must eventually move on. For Newcastle, this could be the perfect opportunity. A proven winner seeking a new challenge at the very moment they need experience. Timing in football is everything, and this moment feels right for both player and club. If the deal does happen, it could be one of the standout transfers of the winter. Ter Stegen would instantly become a leader in the dressing room and a mentor for younger players. His professionalism could inspire those around him, while his experience at the highest level would help Newcastle in European competition. Above all, he'd bring assurance, the kind of calm authority that can turn a good defense into a great one. For a team looking to climb even higher, that's priceless. For the fans, it would be another sign that the dream is truly alive on Tyneside. Sandro Tonali's story at Newcastle United has been nothing short of remarkable. From the day he arrived on Tyneside, the Italian midfielder has captured the hearts of supporters with his passion, energy, and fighting spirit. His journey hasn't been an easy one, though. After joining from Juventus in 2023, Tonali's career was suddenly thrown off course by the shock news of his betting ban, which kept him away from football for 10 long months. Many feared that would derail his rise, but instead, it became the challenge that defined him. When Tonali returned to action, he did so with hunger in his eyes and fire in his boots. He wasn't just back to play, he was back to prove a point. Eddie Howe immediately restored him to the starting lineup, and the difference was clear from the first whistle. His passing range, defensive awareness, and leadership in midfield helped Newcastle rediscover their rhythm. Within weeks, he became the beating heart of Howe's system, showing maturity far beyond his years. The fans could see his commitment. He wasn't here for money or fame, but for redemption. Since his comeback, Tonali has been one of the most consistent performers in the Premier League. Whether playing deep as a shield or pushing forward to dictate play, he's delivered week after week. His influence has been so strong that Newcastle's results often hinge on how well he plays. Opponents have found it difficult to press him, as he always seems one step ahead, reading the game before anyone else. For Howe, Tonali isn't just a player, he's the cornerstone of the project. Every attack, every counter, every piece of control begins with him. Despite his importance, recent reports have stirred discussion among supporters. Transfer expert Fabrizio Romano revealed in his exclusive GiveMeSport column that, at this moment, he's unaware of any ongoing talks regarding a new contract for Tonali. The news surprised many fans, given the midfielder's influence and form. Romano explained that while the club love Tonali, there are currently no negotiations for an extension. It's not a sign of trouble, but rather an indication that Newcastle aren't rushing things. They know they hold a secure position with 3 years left on his deal. Behind the scenes, Newcastle are believed to be planning their timing carefully. Extending Tonali's contract will happen eventually, but the club want to do it under the right circumstances. Howe and the board are aware that Tonali's focus is entirely on football, and he's in no hurry to discuss his future right now. After the drama of last year, the Italian has made it clear that all he wants is stability and consistency. He's found that in Newcastle, surrounded by teammates who respect him and fans who treat him like family. What's clear is that Tonali has become a leader in every sense. His calmness on the ball, his intensity off it, and his communication with teammates make him a natural organizer. Even players like Bruno Guimaraes and Sean Longstaff have spoken about how much they've learned from training alongside him. His influence stretches beyond the pitch. Young players look up to him as an example of resilience. Coming back from a long suspension and performing at this level takes immense mental strength, and Tonali has shown it in abundance. The admiration isn't limited to Newcastle either. Pundits and former players across England have been full of praise for the Italian's performances. Paul Scholes recently described him as the best midfielder in the Premier League right now, ahead of Moises Caicedo and Declan Rice. High praise from one of the best to ever play the game. That sort of recognition doesn't come lightly. It's proof that Tonali's redemption arc isn't just a nice story. It's a footballing reality that's caught the eye of everyone watching the Premier League this season. For Newcastle's ownership, keeping Tonali happy and motivated is crucial. He represents everything they want the club to stand for: class, commitment, and courage. His performances have helped propel Newcastle back into the Champions League and even inspired their League Cup triumph last season. Losing a player of his caliber is unthinkable. That's why, although there's no rush, most insiders believe a contract renewal will become a top priority before next summer. It's not about protecting his market value, it's about rewarding his loyalty and leadership. Tonali himself appears fully settled on Tyneside. He's spoken openly about how much he enjoys living in the Northeast, how the fans' warmth reminds him of home, and how Eddie Howe has rebuilt his confidence. He often mentions that football in England feels pure to him, passionate, emotional, and unrelenting. That mindset has turned him into a symbol of Newcastle's new identity: proud, honest, and determined. For a club that has waited decades to see their midfield dominated by a player of true world-class quality, Tonali feels like destiny fulfilled. In truth, it's only a matter of time before Newcastle sit down to discuss his long-term future. But for now, everyone involved is simply enjoying the ride. Tonali's comeback story continues to inspire both teammates and fans alike. Every time he steps onto the pitch, he plays with the hunger of a man making up for lost time. Newcastle are stronger, sharper, and braver with him at the heart of their midfield. If this is only the beginning of his journey in black and white, then the best is yet to come for both Tonali and the Magpies. William Ojala's future at Newcastle United is becoming one of the most talked about stories ahead of the January transfer window. The young Danish forward, full of potential and energy, could be on his way out of St. James Park in search of regular football. After a frustrating start to the season, Ojala has made it clear to Eddie Howe that he wants more game time. And if that doesn't happen soon, he's ready to move on. For a player desperate to earn a place in Denmark's 2026 World Cup squad, this might be a crucial crossroads in his career. Ojala's situation is the result of Newcastle's busy and ambitious summer. The club spent months chasing reinforcements in attack after Alexander Isak's record-breaking transfer to Liverpool finally went through in September. Howe's priority was to ensure he wouldn't be left short of striking options, and he succeeded by signing two exciting talents: German star Nick Woltemade and Congo international Yoane Wissa. Those arrivals changed the dynamic completely, leaving Ojala further down the pecking order than he expected when pre-season began. The 22-year-old striker has started just 2 matches across all competitions this term, which has understandably left him disappointed. For a player who thrives on confidence and rhythm, limited minutes can quickly erode self-belief. Insiders say Ojala has handled the situation professionally, but privately, he's eager to find a solution. His preference is for a loan move in January, ideally somewhere he can play regularly and continue developing. Several clubs in Germany and the Netherlands have already expressed interest, believing he could thrive in a system that suits his speed and directness. Eddie Howe, however, finds himself in a delicate position. He knows Ojala is talented and hardworking, but circumstances haven't allowed him to give the youngster the consistent opportunities he needs. When Isak's departure was confirmed, Howe feared losing too many attacking options at once, so he blocked a potential summer move for Ojala. Now, with Woltemade performing superbly and Wissa close to returning from injury, Howe might be willing to reconsider. For Newcastle, it's all about balance, maintaining depth while respecting the player's ambition. Nick Woltemade's arrival has certainly eased the pressure. The former Stuttgart striker has settled quickly, scoring 4 goals in his first few appearances and winning over the fans with his determination. Wissa's recovery is also progressing well, and once he's fully fit, Newcastle's front line will look stronger than ever. That leaves Ojala as the odd man out, not because he's failed to impress, but simply because the competition has intensified. Every player wants to play, and when that chance disappears, frustration naturally follows. Sources close to the club say Ojala met privately with Howe after the last league match before the international break. The conversation was open and respectful. The striker explained his desire to play more and made it clear that his main goal is to earn a spot in Denmark's national team for the 2026 World Cup. Howe, in turn, promised honesty. He told Ojala that opportunities might remain limited for now, but he wouldn't stand in his way if the right offer arrived in January. That transparency has kept relations positive between player and manager. Newcastle's decision will likely depend on the condition of Wissa and Woltemade when January arrives. If both remain fit, a loan deal for Ojala seems almost certain. Football Insider recently reported that several championship clubs are also monitoring his situation, though the player himself is believed to prefer a move abroad. A spell in the Bundesliga or Eredivisie could suit his style, allowing him to play attacking football in a less physically demanding environment. Newcastle, meanwhile, would keep a close eye on his progress before reassessing his future next summer. For the Magpies, this potential move represents smart long-term planning. The club know they can't keep every young talent satisfied, but they also understand the importance of development. Letting Ojala go on loan would provide him with valuable experience while freeing up space in the squad. It's a win-win situation if handled properly. Howe has always said that he wants hungry players on the pitch, and Ojala's hunger is undeniable. Whether he stays or leaves temporarily, the goal is to help him reach his full potential. Among supporters, opinions are divided. Some believe Ojala deserves more chances, pointing to his impressive performances in training and his strong work ethic. Others accept that Newcastle's ambitions have grown so quickly that younger players must now fight even harder for minutes. Either way, there's universal respect for Ojala's attitude. He's never complained publicly, never caused disruption, and continues to train with full commitment. That professionalism has earned him admiration from teammates and staff alike, even if his opportunities have been few. Whatever happens next, January promises to be decisive for both Ojala and Newcastle. If he leaves, fans will wish him well and hope he returns stronger. If he stays, he'll keep fighting for his chance under Howe. In truth, his situation reflects the healthy competition that now exists at the club, a sign of progress rather than a problem. For a young striker who still believes in his dream, this could be the beginning of a new chapter. Whether it unfolds in Tyneside or elsewhere, the next few months will define William Ojala's future. What an exciting time to be a Newcastle fan. The idea of Marc-Andre ter Stegen joining the Magpies in January is thrilling, and it shows just how far the club has come. His arrival would bring experience and stability to the back line. But what do you think, lads? Should Newcastle push hard to sign him this winter? Yes or no? Share your thoughts in the comments, because this one could change everything for the team. Sandro Tonali's return has been nothing short of inspiring. After everything he's faced, he's now dominating midfields across England with power and grace. The question is simple. Should the club reward him with a new contract soon? Yes or no? Tell us what you think, because Tonali truly embodies the fighting spirit Eddie Howe demands at St. James Park. And then there's William Ojala, a young man full of determination. Whether he stays or goes out on loan, his story is only just beginning. Do you think Howe should let him leave in January if the offer is right? Yes or no? Let us know below, because every opinion counts here. Newcastle fans, you're the heart of this club. Wait, before you go, check out this breaking video from Newcastle.